Yo, welcome to a new video. This is the series where I read a chapter of a new book every single day and I come and tell you guys exactly what I've learned so that you guys don't have to do the reading yourself. Cool. So, as you already know, the book I'm reading is Atomic Habits, and I'm basically at the end of the book. Tomorrow, I'm going to do one more video on this book, which is going to be a summary of the main key points that I've learned. But today, we're going to focus on how to stay motivated according to this book, right? And I always like to preface these videos by saying that I'm not speaking from a place of I know it all. I'm speaking from a place of this is what I've learned, this is how I'm gonna apply it in my life, and this is how you guys can apply it as well. So let's get into it. I always like to start by saying the reason the book is called Atomic Habits is because your habits on a daily basis, right? Those are the atoms of your life. It's what's decided why you're where you are now, where you're gonna go in the future, so your trajectory, but also where you were in the past as well, right? So if you know that, being able to make an audit of the habits you do without even thinking of, right, automatically, and taking into account, okay, does this really serve me? Am I supposed to be doing this? Is this getting me to where I want to be long term? What's the long-term implications of me doing this, whether they're good or bad? When you actually take time to audit that, you'll realize a lot. And I'm in the process of doing the same thing as well, just seeing like, yo, what am I actually doing here? Where are these habits taking me? Habits are like a train, man. Like, you've actually got to think about the destination you're going to end up in long term if you keep doing the things that you're doing on a daily basis, whether that's good or bad. And habits are so important, especially on like a small scale. That's why the book's called Atomic Habits. All right, things that you think might not have a big impact on the trajectory of your life really do, because it's compounding over time. No matter how small it is, long term you will feel the effects. So let's get into it. But if you see me sweating, we've got a heat wave here. I'm boiling, but let's go, man. So how to stay motivated, that's what I'm going to be speaking about today. Now, this is like one of my favorite topics in this book. I know I said this yesterday, but this literally is. And I'm going to start with a story. Steve Martin, he's a comedian. This is a story that was actually mentioned in the book. And he had, wild success in his career, right? And being a comedian is not something that's easy. You've got to time the joke, you've got to perform in front of a crowd, and you've got to deliver it properly as well, right? So it's actually something that involves a lot of different skills. So it's a very nuanced skill that needs a lot of work put into it. And he was talking about the success that he had and the build up to that. He mentioned it was 10 years of learning, 4 years of refining, and 4 years as a wild success, right? So how did he stay motivated for that long, right? That just shows that longevity is needed if you want to be good at something. If you want to be exceptional at something, you need to be doing it for a long amount of time, right? To get those reps in, to kind of know it in and out, and just to get really proficient. Let time build on itself. Let compound interest be your best friend. And the key to doing that is you need to work long term on tasks within manageable difficulty. Like, you don't want to feel like every day is a mountain to climb, because eventually you're either going to get burnt out or you won't even reach the point of burnout. You'll just be like, yo, can't be asked, not doing it, straight, finished. And you do not want to be able to get to that point. What you want to do is work at tasks that are challenging every single day, but it's not so challenging that you're going to quit, right? And there's a bit of nuance to this. You don't want to make things too easy. You don't want to work at way below your capacity because you're like, oh, I don't want it to be too challenging. But you know in your head what's hard enough for you to keep working at it, but also not give up, that's basically the same thing. But you know what I'm trying to get at, right? You need enough victories to stay motivated, but enough mistakes to stay motivated as well. So it needs to be a good balance of progress from mistakes, but also victories as well. Like, it doesn't need to be so hard that you know you're not going to be able to do this for 10 years. Whatever routine you've got in mind, think, am I going to be able to do this for 10, 20 even years straight? If not, back to the drawing board. Maybe drop the difficulty a bit. Maybe reduce the task and reduce the inputs, but a little bit. Maybe make the difficulty harder, build your way up. But the right balance between, of difficulty, the right balance of difficulty with something challenging and something encouraging because you're getting positive feedback from it. That's what we call flow state. Now, I read this in a book as well, that flow state, it is caused by a perfect balance of chemicals in your brain, right? That's what happens when you reach flow state. And scientists say that flow state is 4% beyond your current ability. And that's what helps to maintain motivation. So think about it in your own life. 4% beyond your current ability. It's enough to keep pushing yourself, keep pushing the boundaries. You're going to get that much better every single day. But it's not so hard that it's discouraging. Think about it. If you try something that's so discouraging, let's say for example, you want to get better at boxing, right? You're not gonna go and fight Mike Tyson on your first fight. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna train for beginners at your level, build your way up. You're gonna challenge yourself every single day. It's gonna be easy enough where you can feel good about yourself, but not so hard that it's just like, yo, I never want to do this again, because we want the path of least resistance, but also that challenge is what you need to grow. So you need that perfect balance. That's when you reach flow state, and that's when you can do things for super, super, super long. Like, people see these edits where it's like David Goggins, and I've read David Goggins' book. I think he's a great guy, but you don't want to have to feel like you're climbing mountains every single day. It's got to be something where there's longevity. You can see yourself doing this every day for a certain amount of years, for a long period of time. But also, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't need to be so hard that it's going to discourage you from even carrying on. Like, you never want to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to give up. That's why people want to lose weight. Straight running 5 miles all the time, knackered. Bro, how long can you keep that up for? You've never done it before in your life. Why are you starting now trying to go all out? Of course you're going to get burnt out. Of course you're going to get tired, bro. Like, the biggest thing is just to make sure that you do it. It's sustainable. You're building on it. You're doing more and more as the weeks go on. I like watching Greg Doucette. I used to watch him a lot more when I was new to the gym. But what he says is more than last time. You want to live harder than last time. You want to live, more than last time. You want to live longer than last time. It's always more than last time. But it shouldn't be so hard that it discourages you. You're not going to go to the calisthenics park for the first time and try and do a flagpole. No, you're going to do pull-ups, and then you're going to do dips, and then you're going to do chin-ups. And you might try a planche, but you might fail. A planche is hard enough as a beginner where it's like, okay, this is the challenge, but with a few weeks, a few more reps, you can get there. So it's the same kind of thing with anything else you want to do. If you want longevity, you need to be able to do this on a regular basis. And it shouldn't feel like you're climbing straight mountains. And last thing I want to leave you with is fall in love with boredom. It's what the book says. This is what I've realized recently as well in my life. Those who win are those who do the same things every single day, day in, day out, without even thinking about it. And it just becomes part of their day. Like, it's like brushing your teeth. And this is what I want this channel to be. It's part of my day. I'm on a streak right now. I'm coming up to 30 videos soon. I know I started the channel about a month ago, but had a few days missed. But I really want to be as consistent as I can, posting every single day for as long as I can. That's the goal here. But like I said, you want to fall in love with boredom. Like, people always want to, even if you have a strategy in life that works, right, people get bored and they want to try the next thing. Shiny object syndrome. But you want to just keep increasing the load in what you've already been doing, and just keep doing it. Stick with the boredom. Fall in love with it. Fall in love with the boredom. You just do the same things day in, day out. Granted, it can't be the same things if they're negative. If the things you're doing every day is drinking alcohol, smoking weed, eating bad food every single day, you definitely don't want to do that every single day. I mean, you can, but you'll see where it gets you, which is not going to be a good place. But when it comes to even I'm a repeat offender of this. Like, in the gym, when I was younger, I used to try all these different workouts. But now, especially after reading this book, I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna try and see what exercise is the most optimal for this part of my body. I'm just gonna do what I feel good with. I'm gonna make the weight challenging enough that it's hard, but I'm just gonna stick to the basics. I can do the same exercises for years, and I know my physique's gonna build. And I've built a pretty decent physique so far, but I want to apply this to all areas in my life. Just do the same things day in, day out, and you'll yield the results. The most successful people are those who handle the boredom of every single day. They don't even wink. It's like brushing their teeth. It's like breathing. And when you understand the power of compounding over a certain amount of time, then you know you're onto a winner. No one can stop you. Like honestly, compounding, the power of compounding is something I've experienced with the gym, my sales skills. The only thing like now that I really want to compound is my ability to communicate with people, my ability to, you know, just be the best version of myself. Stack knowledge, stack skills. I want to learn different languages as well. So yeah, man. Honestly, that's a lesson for me. That's more for me, man. Like the most successful people are those who can handle the boredom of every single day in, day out, boring. If you're into football, there's a saying, can you do it on a rainy night in Stoke? You've got to be able to do it in all circumstances. You just do the same things, you turn up every single day. Because anyone can do things when they feel like it, right? But what really counts, what really moves the needle forward are the days where you don't feel like it and you still turn up. So, I'm dropping wisdom here.